Hey guys, it's Nicole from Chronicles of a Crafter. Welcome back. Today is Funday Friday and we are working on our mini series for Boho Butterfly Junk Journal. And what I'm doing today is just making some of the inner pages. These are the 5 signatures that I started that I know will fit into this journal. I may do more, I may do less. Actually, I will do less because 5 fits in here perfectly, and that's pre-decorated pages, or I have not embellished any of these pages yet. But today I'm going to work on my hidden spine that goes here in the middle. These are just some of the remainder pieces of the box that I disassembled in order to make this journal. So this box right here came from a Your Creative Studios package that I received with a lot of junk journal embellishments, and it was the February order. So what I did was I took that box apart and covered it and made it into a junk journal. Right now what I'm going to do is work on this hidden spine that we discussed. All I've done so far was cover the outside, the inside, created a couple of pockets, and lined the inner cover with felt. I'm going to size up this piece of cardboard right here in order for it to fit in this spine so that I can create a hidden spine. Normally when you create a junk journal, you would sew it. You would sew the signatures into the spine, and the thread would be shown on the outside here. I'm doing a hidden spine where this right here becomes my actual spine, and then that would be adhered to this inner piece right here. What I need to do is get this piece so that it fits in here without it being impeded with the opening and closing of the book. This way you don't end up with a gator mouth. So I need to cut this down, obviously. This was just a piece of the box that I disassembled. Here's the remaining pieces. I don't think I'll be using any of these. At least I don't think I will right now. So I'm going to move this aside. But I'm going to cover this in felt as well, so it's all one cohesive piece. And again, I need to cut this down because it's a little too wide and it doesn't sit properly in this predetermined spine. I'm going to move my journal out of the way because I'm not working with it right now. And I'm also going to move my tray of junk. I love junk journaling, guys. Like, it is so relaxing, and it's such a breath of fresh air because you get to make things from scratch, and you get to play with like this. Like, this is just, this is all junk. I mean, anyway, I'll digress. I'm gonna move my tray out of the way. And again, all we're working with today is the spine and some felt, and I may do some page decorations. This piece of cardboard right here has a little bit of sticky goo on it, pre-glued from the box, and it currently measures just under 2 inches, so it's about 1 7/8 of an inch, and we already know it doesn't fit in the spine, which is 2 inches. So here's the journal again. Here is the book. I'd say the actual spine is 1 7/8 as well. So I know that this won't fit in there, so I'm going to have to cut this down. And I'm going to use my craft knife and my metal ruler. So let's see. Here is my metal ruler. And I'm just going to cut just slivers off until I get it to fit. And considering I'm also going to wrap it in felt, I need to leave enough room, or you'll know what I mean. I need to make sure that once it's wrapped, it still fits in the space. So this right here is a little uneven. It's 2 inches on one side and then 1 7/8 on the other. I'm going to cut it back to about 3/4 of an inch. So I'm cutting off 1/4 of an inch up here and then less down here. because this piece of cardboard is not even at all. And I'm just following the edge of my ruler with my craft knife. And I think that did it. Yep. So now we're down to 1 3/4. Okay. Yeah. Well, it's so sticky. 1 3/4. And I'm going to fit this into the spine, just like so, just to see if the book will close. Okay. We may still have to cut down some more once we wrap it in felt. So let me flip it over. So let's see. It may close. Yeah, that looks good. I mean, I don't have it boing, like it doesn't it doesn't want to like pop open, you know. But I may cut it down some more after I wrap, well, when I see if it'll fit after I've wrapped it in felt. And I'm just going to place it in the felt and mock wrap it. So I know I'm going to need about that much. Let me get my scissor. And I'm just going to roughly cut along here. And this is all we're working with right here. Okay, so it was a bit long. I will be cutting off some off the top, but just to wrap it, you know, do a dry run, I'm gonna go something like so. And this is about how much I will need, so let's go ahead and try to fit this into the journal, just to make sure that it still does not pop open or want to have a gator mouth. And then we'll glue it all together. So that's where that'll go. And you can see that my book spine is still pushing out the hidden spine a little bit. So I'm going to have to cut away some more. Yeah, it's not really sitting that flush. Let's go ahead and cut away some more of this cardboard. And initially, I just cut off, you know, just a sliver. I'm going to do the same thing again and just cut off a sliver. So I got it down to 1 3/4. I'm just going to cut away about 1/8 of that again. So it'll be 1 5/8. And there's my mark. Right about there. And this is how much I've cut off. Okay, we're just gonna dry run test it again. Place my cardboard on the felt, do a little fold over, and I'm going to place this in the book and see if it'll fit. And this is why I say, like, I set up 5 signatures to go into this journal, but again, I may be using less than 5. Yeah, and that fits nicely in there. So there you have it. That's gonna go really nice in there. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and cut away some of this felt because I don't need that much of it. And and I also need to measure this because, like I said, it was a bit long. It's yeah, it's a bit long on both sides, so I'm just gonna cut one side. Just gonna get it to the edge of the felt down here. Mark it with my pencil. I'll use this red pencil, and I'm just going to mark it up here where the felt ends. So it's already lined up at the bottom where the felt begins, and I'm just going to mark it up there where I need to cut away the excess. So again, craft knife and metal ruler. So this ends up being 8 inches. Yeah. Okay. And there we have that. I'm going to set this in the middle. Yeah, I'll set it in the middle. Okay. And I know that I can cut away very close to the actual cardboard, maybe leaving about a 1/2 inch all the way around. All right, so that's what we have left. I'm going to remove this, get some glue onto here, and I'm using my, let's see, we'll use some Fabric Fix, because it's a silicone glue, dries clear, and it does glue paper to paper, paper to fabric, and fabric to fabric. So let's go ahead and get plenty of glue on the cardboard and not on my cutting mat. Because I did not use my silicone glue mat. And I'm just smushing it all the way around with my finger so I don't get any lumps. Make sure I get it all the way to the edges. Okay, and what's left on my finger, it'll just, because it's a clear silicone glue, it'll just roll away. I normally don't like to touch the glue. It's just gross to me. It's a little gross, but it'll be okay. And I'm going to place this down in the middle again. Okay. So now we can see that 5 signatures will not fit on here. Okay, it's just too much. So I more than likely will be scaling this back. We'll start with 4 signatures, and as we go along, once we start decorating, we may even only have 3 signatures. So we'll see. Okay. And now I'm going to just cut away the corners so I don't have that much bulk. Cut a little bit too much on that side, but it's okay. It's just junk, you know. I sometimes I watch what's her name, Pam from the Paper Outpost, and you know, she has a great well, for one, she has a great channel, but 2, she has a great outlook on this whole process. And she's like, you know what, guys, it's just paper. It's just paper. So, you know, no lives are lost. We're just crafting, having fun. So, you know, it's just paper. So it's gonna be okay. And I'm gonna glue this side as well. Get it all the way to the edge. Okay, and we're gonna glue our corners down. And there we have it. Okay, and this is now our hidden spine. Pretty slick. And in order to I'm just going to set this aside to let it dry, but in order to get this into the actual journal, it'll be placed in here like so, and I'd glue it in, okay? So this is set aside and let it dry. And now we can decorate some pages. I'm so excited because this is the fun part for me. It used to be the stressful part. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can just stick a bunch of pages in here and make it a writing journal. But now I feel like I just love decorating pages. So let's do some of that. I've removed 2 signatures and I think I'm gonna go with 3 for now. But actually I'm only going to work with 1. So let me put this back in here, and I just have this little piece of fabric just to protect the pages from this clip, this large binder clip. Alright, so let's decorate some pages. Alright, so this is my first signature, and let's see, I have a piece of acetate to protect the first signature the first page of every signature. Then I have a piece of vellum, and these 2 I normally don't do much with, so I can actually remove them for now. Alright, so these are all just coffee dyed pages, tea dyed pages. I tried doing avocado dye, but it just didn't work out for me. But I would love to get some avocado dyed paper. But right now, for my first page, I think I'm going to do, let's see, I may decorate this page with a pocket or a tuck. So let's get some pretty paper and do that. All right, I'll be right back. Okay guys, so what I've done was I went over to my die cutting machine, and I used this die right here, which is it makes a gusseted tuck. So it basically looks like this when you're done. So this is one of them. Here's another one that I've done, and these are some pretty paper that I just cranked through the die cutting machine. And then here is another page, and I did the extra embellishments. This right here comes with a cover pocket, or you know, it has another piece, another die, and it makes these smaller pieces which can be overlaid on top of this big you know, gusseted pocket or tuck. So I'm probably going to use this. I also found some book paper. This is a double-sided music paper. So I'm probably going to start with that. And what else did I find? Oh, I found some tea dyed or coffee dyed book pages that are torn, and another coffee dyed music sheet, which all came from the same book actually. So in this book there was some music. Anyway, so I'm probably going to use some of that. So let's just go ahead and start with this page. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the margins off, because I don't want this this white margin all the way around here. I just want the what appears to be stained music paper. So let's do that first. Here's my craft knife, and I know my page, one side of it is about 5.5 inches, so I'm going to line this up to cut it right at 5.5 inches once I cut away the margins. So this right here is turning out to be about 8 inches wide. So I'll start with just cutting off 1.5 inches on both sides and see where that lands me. I'm going to cut this down to about there. I'm going to do it with my craft knife. And you can use scissors. I just happen to have my craft knife handy. And I'll cut off this other edge over here if I could pick up this. So it's about 6.5 right now. I'll cut off this 1.5 over here and it'll put me right at 5. But I need 5.5, so I'll just cut off 1 inch on this end over here. Okay. I hope I wasn't shot when I did that. Not responsible person cutting on the other side. I don't recommend doing it. It was very awkward. It had an awkward feeling to it, and I shouldn't have done it that way, but it was the quickest way to get it done. So that's fine. I kind of like that. I'll center it on the page, and I'll glue it down. And it's okay if it wraps around the edge. Let's see. Do I want it to wrap? I really don't. So I'll cut away a little bit more. Here, let me rotate it so I can get it on my right hand side and cut it straight. Okay. So this will be my front cover after the vellum and the tissue paper cover. Let's see. So yeah, let's just go ahead and glue this down. And I'm going to pull out my silicone mat because this is going to get sticky. And I think it's the same song on both sides. This is just some standard music paper, and I'm going to use my Scotch Create glue stick, permanent glue stick. It's just perfect for this, and I'm going to get to the edges first. And then I'll get it all in the middle. Okay. Make sure my music is facing right side up. I'm going to start down here in this corner, get it straight on the page, and then maneuver it where it needs to be everywhere else. Okay, that worked out really well. I'm happy with that. Alright, so now that not only reinforces this front page, it makes it a little bit thicker. So like I was saying, like the spine will accommodate five signatures until you start to decorate. So now this page is almost, you know, it's twice the thickness that it was before. So this again is my first page of the signature after the vellum and the tissue paper. What I'm going to do next is put a little bit of rickrack across the top, and I want it to go all the way from the front cover to the back cover of the book. So I have this little piece of rickrack, which is about 13 inches maybe. So I'm just going to go ahead and glue that down with the Fabrifix glue, and I'm just gonna place it like, hang on, let me grab my silicone mat so I don't get my cutting mat messed up. I'm just gonna place it right at the edge because I do want some of that rickrack to ruffle over at the top. Okay. I'm going to get it glued down right at the edge of the page. And I like that little bit of ruffle up at the top. Okay, so that's what that'll look like at the top of the page. Okay, and I'll just cut away my excess on the edges here. Get it nice and flush. All right, I am happy with that for sure. That looks great. And you know, folks, like you can stop right there. You know, like this can then become I don't know, some journaling space. You can take some coffee dyed book paper, which is some lined loose leaf paper, and just place it on there, and this then becomes some great journaling space. I will do that on another page, probably on the inside cover. But I do want this to dry, so I'm going to leave it open for a little bit. And now I'm going to glue down my gusseted tuck. I'm going to place it in the center of this front page. Move my scissors and craft knife out of the way. And I'm just going to use my Fabrifix glue. And I'm going to just glue on the gusseted edges. Okay. Put my pin back in my glue. And I'm just going to guesstimate the center, so I'm going to say it's about there. That looks pretty darn close to me. Looks really good. Like that a lot. Okay, you get a little bit of time with the art glitter glue, but not much. Like if you blinked, it's stuck. It's stuck right wherever you placed it. So try not to drop any of your projects when you're working on it. I also have my flat back pearls, which I wanted to incorporate on this first page. So I'm just going to take, I mean, I can do this with stickles or, you know, liquid pearls or anything, but I want to use my purple flat back pearls, and I'm just going to place one or two in the corners of this tuck. I think one in each corner will look nice. Kind of gives it this riveted look that it's been hammered onto the page, you know. Okay. Now that's starting to come along. I like that a lot. Alright. And from here, I guess I'm just going to use this tuck to tuck in some tags and such. Maybe this pretty postcard, butterfly postcard that I have. And let's see, I will just ink the edges on it. Alright, I'll let that dry a little bit. And then I have these cards that I made, these little tags that I made recently. And I'm just going to tuck them in. I do have these additional tags here. Matter of fact, I'm going to put some eyelets into these tags. So this one's really pretty. It has a gold trim already around it, so I'm just going to pop a gold eyelet in there, and this one is done. I'm using my Crocodile Big Bite. Easy. You can journal on the back of these. You can, you know, give it to someone with a gift, you know, as a to from tag. And this is just gonna sit right in there. My postcard will be right back here. Okay. And I'm gonna get a couple more of these cute little tags that I made the other day. Tuck those down in here. And here's another one that I inked with a worn lipstick, and it's purple, but it has a little bit of gold on there as well, so I'm just gonna go for it with a gold eyelet. And Crocodile Big Bite 2. And that's just perfect. Okay. Let's see, what else can I put on this page? I think it's kind of looking like a nice start, guys. I'm not really angry at this at all. This looks like a nice front cover to my signature. I'm just going to pop the rest of the pages in there. Okay. And then put my vellum cover back on it. And that would be what you see when you open up the journal, which I think looks great already. So here's the cover. This would be the first signature and the first page of that signature. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and leave you there. I've been gapping plenty today. We're gonna work on some more pages, and let me just go ahead and check on my spine. So this is my hidden spine, which we'll be attaching our signatures to, and then it will eventually lay flat in here. And I think that's gonna be great. I mean, it fits perfectly in the spine of the book without too much resistance. And that's what that will look like right in there. And this is the bottom of it. Okay, so it leaves plenty of room here for my spine dangle. This is the little eyelet that I popped in there for my spine dangle. It's right in there. And there you have it. So when we're ready to assemble our signatures to this hidden spine, that's when we'll glue this down and place it in here. So all right guys, I will talk to you guys in the next one. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you soon. Bye.